everyone and welcome back to my channel. In this video I'm going to be doing a makeup challenge. I see these floating around on YouTube and I always want to be part of them, so this is my first challenge video. I'm going to be doing the full face using the cheapest makeup products I own challenge. I don't know if I've seen anyone else do this, they probably have. But we're going to see quite how cheap I can get a full face of makeup for. I will be totting up the totals of how much each of these products costs and seeing just how little you have to spend to get a makeup look. I'm actually going to try and make this look decent because I have to go out later, so I'm not trying to make fun of any of these brands or anything like that. It's just a little bit of fun to see just how cheap we can do it. So if you want to know, then just keep watching. So to start off with, I'm going to prime my face and I'm going to be using the MUA Pro Base Moisturising Primer. And even though it's featured in this video, which is like the cheapest products I own, I actually really love this. This is one of my go-to products really. So I just take a little bit of that and I'm just going to put that all over my face. Okay, so once that's soaked in, if you watch my previous everyday makeup video, you know the drill. You know that I like to let my moisturiser and primer sink in while I do my eyebrows. So for my eyebrows, actually also one of the products that I actually really like, it is the PS 3-in-1 Precision Brow Pencil, and this is from Primark. Primark are actually really up to their makeup game. I have a couple of other Primark products in here as well. I think they're really good at like pulling off dupes of other brands. Like I think they do have a almost exact dupe of the Kim Kardashian nude selection. I haven't actually tried it, but it'll be one to try. So it's got a spoolie on one end, which I'm just going to brush the hairs up with. So the pencil is like one of those sort of triangle fatter pencil things. It's retractable, so I'm just gonna fill in my brows with that. The only thing I would say about this product and about Primark brow products in general, because I have actually tried a few, this is in the shade Taupe. I think they do a slightly lighter shade which is called Blonde, but it's really warm, so it's really orangey, and I am more on the cool tone side, so I went for Taupe, but actually it's really quite dark. Obviously I have like blonde hair, ignore the roots. But it's actually, I would say, more of like a light mid-brown. Okay, so when they are somewhat even, obviously they're never going to be perfect because my eyebrows aren't really even, I will probably just brush through them with the spoolie on the other end of this just to make sure they are all in the right place. So going in with foundation, I do actually have a lot of fairly affordable foundations. Not a lot that I would say are cheap, but more affordable for sort of like £4–5, and some that I actually really love and use on a daily basis. But for the absolute cheapest one I own, it has to be the PS foundation stick from Primark in the shade Ivory, which I believe is the lightest one they do. It's just one of these sort of like creamy foundation sticks. It's not as smooth as other sticks I've used, like the Revolution Fast Base stick, which I think is only about £5, but it definitely does work. So instead of going straight in and drawing it on my face, I'm just going to go in with a dense sort of foundation brush. I'm just going to take some of that on there and start swirling that over my face. One thing I do have to say is it does smell cheap. So it's not full coverage by any means, but I do quite like it. So I've just sort of gone in on half of my face, so I don't know if you can see the difference. This side is the side that I have used the foundation stick on, and this side is the side without anything. So it does kind of even everything out. It's not my favourite finish because you can sort of still see your pores and everything like that, but it definitely does the job. So I'm just going to go in and do the other side. So once that's applied on the whole face, the coverage is actually not bad. It is a little bit sort of creamy, slightly on the greasy side, but as I said, I have like dry skin, so I don't mind that too much really. So with any foundation, what I like to do is after I've gone in with a brush is just go in with a sponge and just pat that all in and make sure that the coverage is even and you don't have any brush strokes anywhere. So next for concealer, the cheapest concealer I actually own is the Max & More concealer, which I did get from Home Bargains, but I'm pretty sure this brand is sold in sort of Home Bargains, B&M home stores, Poundland, places like that where it's like a little bit on the cheaper side. I usually keep this like in my bag in case I need like a touch up throughout the day. Yeah, it's a little on the dark side really, so I wouldn't highlight under my eyes with this. But it's definitely not that bad for like spot concealing and things like that. So I'm just gonna put that where I need a little bit more coverage. Yeah, it's definitely not my favourite concealer. So to set my face, I have a lot of different powders, but I think the cheapest one I own is probably the Collection Pressed Powder in shade 18 Ivory. So I'm just gonna put that all over my face. So that powder just takes down any shine and some of the dewiness that I had from all the cream products I used. So once my face is set, I would go in with some bronzer / contour, whatever you want to call it. The bronzer that I'm going to be using is the Makeup Gallery Good to Glow Matte Bronzer, and this is in Matte Light 1. This is from the Pound Shop. It is quite a warm colour, I would say. Even this is the Matte Light 1, which I think is the lightest shade they do. Obviously I am quite pale, but I think that this is pretty much just about okay for me. So I'm just going to go in with the tiniest bit of that because it is quite pigmented, and I am going to just put that where I would normally put my bronzer. So that just warms up the face a little bit, and I just put a little bit down the sides of my nose to give my face some dimension. Once we've been warmed up a little bit, it's time to go in with blusher. First one is the same one I mentioned in my everyday makeup video, the Olivia Hale blusher, but this one is actually in the other colour, which is Pearlescent Pink. Slightly different to the Bramble one, which I said is my favourite. This is more of a light blusher and it's got like a little bit of shimmer in it. It's not as pigmented as the other one, as you can see. The other one was like everywhere, but this one is kind of just like a little bit more natural. It's still nice, but I thought I would use it for a bit of variety. Now, last thing to do on the face is highlighter, and this is a new addition to my collection. This is the Primark PS highlighter in Brunch Club, and I think they do a couple of different shades. This, when I saw it, I instantly thought of the Kylie highlighters, the way they sort of open like that and they've got like the drips in. This has got more of like a different texture, but it is so pigmented. So just go on with a little fan highlighter brush, and you don't need much at all, so just take a little bit of that and just pop it where you would usually put your highlighter. And that gives a really pretty glow. It is more sort of like a warm toned highlighter, but I don't mind that actually. It looks pretty nice. So next is eyes, and I did really struggle with this because I actually really don't have any cheap eyeshadow palettes. I've got a couple of single eyeshadow colours like this one, the Olivia Hale one in Toasted Mauve, which is actually really nice, so I might use that sort of on top. It's really nice sort of shimmery pink, but I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this Revolution palette, which is Fortune Favours the Brave palette, and just use that for some of the transition shades. I hardly ever use this palette really, because I just have so many others. And it's not like I'm a palette snob, but I just think when they work better, it is worth like spending a little bit more money on. So I'm just going to go into this shade right here, which is just sort of a creamy lid setting shade. And once I've got that, we want to add a little bit of dimension to the eyes. I don't know whether to do a colour actually. I was going to use this one on top, this pinky shimmery. So maybe we'll go for like a pinky natural look. With a fluffy eyeshadow brush, I'm going to go in with this little colour here. They do have names, it's on like a little insert thing, but I think I lost it. I feel like the shades in this are just sort of a bit nothingy really, like they don't pack a punch. So we're giving it a go, but it's not my favourite. So then I'm just going to go in with this shade here, which is more of like a darker shimmery pink, just to give some definition into the crease. And I don't know if you can see, but like we're not really getting much payoff here. It is a little bit sheer, which is fine if you like a buildable eyeshadow, and if you're maybe just starting out, this has got like quite a lot of good colours in it. So just to really try and go in and give my eyes some sort of definition, I'm going to go in with this colour here, which is more of like a purpley mauvey pink, and oh, that is picking up quite a lot actually. So let's see if that actually puts anything down. Oh yeah, I do quite like that actually. That has given me a bit more colour and a little bit more depth to the eyes. So as these aren't really that pigmented, I think if we go in with one of the darkest shades, which is this one here, it is sort of like a really dark purpley, little bit shimmery, and I'm just going to focus that on like the outer third of the eye to really sort of deepen it up a bit. Oh no, that is going a little bit patchy actually, and I'm not really loving that. And even though it is very purple on here, it is coming out sort of like a bit of a black. So I'm just going to even it up on the other side and we'll see if we can make it work. So after copious amounts of blending, I have got some colour down, but it is still looking quite patchy. But from afar, it doesn't look that bad, and we are going to cover it with that shimmer shade, so hopefully it will be okay. Just going underneath the eyes to tie everything together. I'm probably going to go in with this shade here, which is like a cool toned brown shade, just to make everything look a bit more balanced. So that is the eyeshadow we've got using the Revolution palette, and as you can see, it's like not great, but it is sort of like a deep pinky purpley look, so it's as good as we're going to get really. So I am just going to go with this Olivia Hale eyeshadow in Toasted Mauve, and I'm just going to take a little bit of that with my finger because, as I said, I feel like that's how shimmer shades apply the best, and just going to pop that on sort of the inner part of my eyelid. And that really does bring quite a lot of life to the look actually. I love that eyeshadow, and it's actually probably one of my favourite shimmery eyeshadows despite it being really cheap. So just going to do the same on the other eye. And I'm just going to take this shade from the palette, which is a sort of white shimmery shade, and with a really small flat brush I'm just going to take some of that and pop that right in my inner corners, and a little bit of that just on my brow bone as well. So that kind of adds just a little bit of pop into the inner corners of my eyes. So I'm probably going to leave it there for eyeshadow just because there's not really much more I can do with this palette, and I feel like that's kind of a nice look anyway. So we're going to go in with winged eyeliner, which usually I wouldn't have time to do, but today I'm going to do it. And actually, fun fact, my favourite winged eyeliner is actually also the one I'm going to use today, which is the cheapest one that I've tried. I like a pen, so like this sort of felt tip liner. This is from MUA and it is the Eye Define Soft Tip Felt Liner, but make sure you get this one because they do have a couple of different types and they're all next to each other. So this one is like £2 and it's honestly the best that I've used. It's a complete dupe for the Maybelline Masterpiece Cat Eyes, I think it's called. So I'm just going to go in and do a little wing on each of my eyes. And if you can get them even, then extra points to you, because even though I've been doing this for probably about 7 years, then I still can't get them even sometimes. So I actually wouldn't say they are too bad today. That one's probably a little bit thinner, but once we've got mascara on, you're probably not even going to notice. So you can go bigger if you want more of a dramatic wing, or if it's like an evening look, or you could just go across here and then not wing it out, which is what people like for like weddings and things like that when I've done people's makeup. So that is the eyeliner done. Again, I did find it difficult picking a mascara because all the ones I use are actually quite affordable anyway. So I've gone with the Collection Lash Surge Mascara, which is really good mascara for like volume, and it's quite clumpy, which I kind of like. So it's just got a normal wand and we're just going to put that on. And just a little bit on the lower lashes. I've done it. I've done my mascara without getting it on my eyebrow. Yes. So that is the eyes done. I feel like they pretty much just look like normal, so I'm not actually that disappointed. This eyeshadow palette is okay, but like I said, I've definitely got others that do better, but then again, they are quite a bit more expensive, so it depends how much you've got to play around with and what your budget is. So lastly, for lips, like I said in my previous video, usually I would just wear Vaseline on a day-to-day basis, but if I am going to be using lipstick, one of my favourite lipsticks, which is actually probably one of the cheapest ones I own, is the Collection Lasting Colour lipstick in the shade 22 Cafe au Lait, and it is a really nice sort of brownie muted nude, and it's really creamy, so it goes on really easily. It doesn't last that long because obviously it's not like a matte or anything like that, but if you're willing to keep applying it, then I think it's definitely worth it. I feel like this lipstick goes with pretty much any makeup look as well, any eye look, because it is so natural and it's really glossy and juicy, so I really like the way that looks. So that's probably one of the cheapest ones and also one of my favourite ones. So just to finish everything off, and like I said, I don't use setting spray every day, and I don't really have that many, but probably one of the cheapest ones I have, I recently got it. It is the Primark PS Glow Setting Spray, and it says infused with vitamin B5, illuminating pearls and aloe vera, and it's actually really nice. I think this was about £4, so it's not really like super cheap, but it's definitely on the affordable side. Make sure you shake it really well, otherwise you will get little dots of glitter all over your face, so make sure it's all shook up before you spray. And it smells really good as well. If you can do your setting spray without getting your hair wet, please tell me your tips, because I always do it and it always gets the front of my hair wet. So there you go, that is my full face using the cheapest makeup products that I own. I will top the total up here so you can see just how much I got this full face for. Obviously some of these steps are not necessary, like if you don't use setting spray or if you don't wear lipstick, then you can totally cut those out, or things like the highlighter, that's like an added extra really. But the overall look is actually not bad. I'm actually quite happy with that. It is still natural because obviously the eyeshadows we had didn't really give us many colours to play around with a colourful look, but it is still quite nice pinky mauve look. So I really hope you enjoyed seeing how I got this face for less, and if you've got any products that you've tried that are really affordable that you think I should test out, let me know in the comments down below. Also, if you've used any products that I've mentioned and you also love them, let me know. And thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye!